Hi everyone, I'm back from the hospital. I got back on crutches, which is why I'm not screaming in agony. I looked up sciatica on the internet and it said that as long as I don't sit or stand for too long, then it's like what I have to do is either have to lie down or I have to keep moving. Like when I get up, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. So yeah, I'm in bed at the moment. When I get back up, I'm gonna keep doing that again. Um, I just hope I don't forget because every time I sit or stand, it's just fucking agony, man. Um, First off, I just want to say that I have never felt so loved and so supported in my life, man. I was here on my own in Brighton, but I didn't feel like I was on my own because if it wasn't my family and my friends and my partner back and forth checking how I was, wanting to see how I was doing, if it wasn't them, it was, you know, kind strangers like all helping me, like all trying to cheer me up. Do you know what I mean? Like they were just so lovely and so supportive. Even a couple of nurses were like really super supportive, you know? So I have to start off on a positive, and it's real. It's a real positive. There are a lot of, there are quite a few helpful people around me, and I can't deny that at all. But now that's out of the way, I have to get to the fuckery, I'm sorry. So you all saw what happened with when I was here and when I was screaming in agony. First of all, somebody recorded me screaming in agony, which is helpful. You can record me but not call an ambulance. Second of all, like, I was literally the one in pain and I was condescended to every step of the way and being treated like I was being belligerent for no reason. That's the second thing. Third thing is that it took me 399 calls and 2111 calls in the last 2 days just for somebody to get down here, and in two of those phone calls I was screaming in agony. And that's not that's not a testament to slackness or anything. That's just a testament to how busy they were. Because in the middle of a heat wave, everybody's out in the sun. There's rows of people. So that's just a testament to how busy 999 actually were, to my mind. Because I refuse to believe that there ain't people with injuries worse than mine with them kind of crowds. So that's the first thing. It took 599, five emergency services, 5 medical services calls before somebody finally got to me. Until then, I was screaming in agony from about 6 in the morning to from 6 in the morning to about 10 o'clock or something like that. Because even though the hospital gave me really strong painkillers, took a while for those painkillers to kick in. And on top of that, I was being tortured as well. So it wasn't just regular back pain. It wasn't just like sciatica. A lot of people thought that because I can't even get everything straight in my mind. The whole thing was ridiculous. It's like, okay, so after that, the paramedics came over and they tested my back on my left side. And from the pain, they ascertained that it was sciatica, right? Which is fair enough. And they spoke to the doctor on the phone, and the doctor said to me, listen, I'm concerned about the fact that the pain is in both your legs rather than just one of them. Now, I can explain that. As much as I was being tortured, because I'm tortured around the time of my period anyway. They usually step it up again around the time of my period. Because I have fibroids, when I have pain in my legs, I mean, to my mind, I think I have PCOS and endometriosis as well, but I can't trust the medical profession, to be honest, at this point. because I have fibroids, diagnosed with fibroids. When I get period pain, I get it at the front of my legs and I get it in my lower back. So it wasn't just the sciatica causing the pain. It was also the fibroids. And plus it was also the torture, because the torture was hitting in specific parts of my body. It was also being I was also being fired in my lower and upper legs. So there's a combination of all these three things going on, which is why I was screaming like a banshee the entire time. It wasn't just sciatica. If it was just sciatica, I would have been like, shit, this is annoying, but I can deal with this. But no, it was a combination of sciatica, fibroids, and electronic torture. That's why I was howling like that. But for some reason, I just instinctively didn't feel like talking about the torture. So the whole time they're thinking I'm just being really dramatic about the sciatica thing, and oh, it's just back pain, you know. Back pain could be debilitating. Yeah, back pain can be debilitating, but when you've got torture on top of it, it's even fucking worse, bro. So anyway, the paramedics said I had sciatica. They took me out of here on gas and air. I was high as a kite and I was singing to everybody. So came out and I was put outside because the waiting room was so packed and everything. And honestly, even now, even though I was screaming and howling and shit, like, I would rather have been outside than doing that in the waiting room. Like, nah. Because if I was inside, I would have felt even worse. Do you know what I mean? And whilst I was outside screaming in pain, it must have been like, because I got there at, I think I got there around 5, got to the hospital around 5. And I wasn't seen until about like, I can't remember when I was seen. I think it was like an hour or two later that I was seen, that I was brought inside. And yeah, I was in a wheelchair, but I couldn't even sit down. It was just so painful. I was sitting down for a long period of time. Because once again, with sciatica, you have to stay moving. So they brought me into the area where they were treating everybody, or where they were assessing everybody. And I was assessed there, and they had to do like a rectal examination just to see that there was no numbness down there. Because when you've got lower back compression, like, everything stops working. But because in my case there was no lower back compression, it means that everything was on the up and up. So they did that, and then afterwards, I think after a few hours of a bunch of heavy drugs, I was moved from urgent care to the CDU ward. And that was when things got really interesting. CDU ward. First of all, I was brought to a men's ward, ordinarily what would be a men's ward. You know, okay, so considering that I was in a men's ward, when I got there, my curtain wasn't all the way there. My curtain wasn't all the way closed, so I didn't have privacy. And also I wasn't given a hospital gown. I thought it was a problem then, but I didn't say anything because I was just in too much pain to say anything. And I didn't want to kick up a fuss, so I just said nothing. So when I got the MRI scan, I was fully clothed. I was in my normal clothes. And I bled through my normal clothes because I had my period and everything. But, you know, so my body stank of blood, basically. It was only when a couple of nurses came hours later that they started talking about what was going on. Like, there was this older nurse whom, like she was a fucking angel. She was an absolute angel, because she came in there and she said, why is this curtain not closed all the way? Why is she not being given a hospital gown? What is going on here? This is disgusting. And the younger nurse, who was my regular nurse, she agreed. She agreed, like, this is just unacceptable. So they both gave me a regular gown, and they both made sure that I got some curtain space. So they made sure I got some privacy, and I got a hospital gown on. And they gave me strong painkillers all the way through. Painkillers all the way through. I was talking to my partner, my dad, and my brothers, because I called my little brother as well. I spoke to my sister a little bit. And spoke to my friend as well over the phone. So it's like people constantly checking in on me and seeing how I am. And my brother checked in on me as well. That reminds me, I've got to call him and tell him everything that's happened. So yeah, I was in there for a few hours, and then they moved me to the female ward. The female ward smelled really nice. This was where I turned. This is where I got really, really angry. I got angry with the whole thing because I have to go back a ways, because it actually starts from before I moved to the female ward. In the male ward, a couple of doctors came to me. One of them was a younger one. I think he was a junior doctor. And he said that, yeah, you got a slip disc. From what the scan shows, you got a slip disc. But we got to send you home anyway, because having you laid up in bed in hospital is not going to do anything. And then an older doctor came along with the younger doctor, and he said, yeah, you got a slip disc. But unfortunately, we got to send you home. You being in hospital is not going to do anything. And the thing about people in Brighton is that, emergency services, homelessness services, they tend to be very blunt, because they get a lot of people coming in and out. So they've grown blunt with people at this point. So they said, we got to send you home, sorry. And I'm thinking, I'm worried that I'm not going to, because the thing is, I wasn't thinking at the time, you see, because all I could think about was the pain. And I'm thinking to myself, if I can't stand up for more than 3 seconds, how am I going to move? And how am I going to move enough to be able to go home? Like, it just didn't make any sense to me, because at the time I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking clearly. I was thinking, how the fuck am I going to go home? Like, my home's got a little alleyway that nobody drives through. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is that the parking where I live is horrendous. So I'm putting all these logistics together while they're telling me I have to go home with strong painkillers, knowing good and goddamn well the strong painkillers didn't do much except stop me crying, because I was still in a lot of pain even with the painkillers. So went to the female ward. A female doctor told me the same thing, but at that point I was at the end of my fucking rope. I was like, because the thing is, she said they had to wait for a formal report before deciding whether to send me home. And the female doctor said, it is likely that we're going to send you home. I got so angry. I was like, you know what? Do you really think I want to be here? Nobody wants to be here in the middle of a pandemic. I called you guys for a reason, so that I could be able to rest, or at least have some physiotherapy while I'm here. Oh no, by the way, when it comes to the physiotherapy, when I was in the men's ward, the physiotherapy came round to me twice. And after he saw I couldn't get up, he didn't come back again. So no physiotherapy, right? No physiotherapy was provided for me. So I said, it would be different if I was in the hospital, you provided me with physio for a couple of weeks or something, and then I went home, because then it would guarantee that I would not be back at the hospital. But all they're thinking about is short term, because the beds. I'm thinking, what good is it gonna do if I'm laid up in bed, can't walk, and I end up in a position where I have to be back there again? Like, what good is it gonna do? You know what I mean? It's like, I was so angry. I said, look, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here any more than you want me to be here. But I need the rest. I need physiotherapy. I need more than just painkillers and you sending me on my way. I need physiotherapy so that I can be able to walk up and down when I get home. But no, I had to leave. You know what I did? You know what I fucking did? First thing I did, right? I started changing. I was in pain the entire time. I was screaming in agony the entire time. But I was changing my clothes. Doctor came in and asked me if I was fine. I told her to fuck off. Well, I didn't actually say fuck off. But a doctor asked me, the same doctor who said I might have to go home. She said, do you need any help? I said, fuck off. Don't want your help. So I was in agony the whole time. And I said, look, if I got to go home, I got to go home. But I'm going home now. Because your painkillers didn't help. Nothing that you did help. If I'm going now. This is a joke. And they said, look, we need you to stay for the formal report so we can give you the painkillers. I said, I'm not staying around for the painkillers. The painkillers didn't fucking work. I'm still screaming in agony. You can hear it. Right? So I got my clothes on and I got my bag. I got everything. I was on the floor. But I was determined to get out. I was on the floor. And one of the nurses said, like, what are you really going to do? You're going to crawl out of here? I'm going to, honestly, like, I actually got where she was coming from. Because it's like, no, you're not about to crawl out of here. Like, you might as well just stay. And then the doctor said, look, can you please just stay here? And I was just like, yeah, all right, fine. So they gave me more painkillers and I was a bit drowsy for a bit. But then I had to go toilet. Night nurses came, I had to go toilet. So they said, do you need any help? And they weren't going to help me. So I crawled to the toilet. I crawled on my hands and knees to the toilet. Because I knew if I stood up, then that was it. I crawled to the toilet, got myself up there, got myself to the toilet, got myself back from the toilet, crawled. And then I thought, okay, good. I'm able to get back and forth from the toilet. That's fine. So I was still angry. I was still pissed off. I wasn't really talking to anybody. But then I decided, you know what? If I'm going to be sent home, I have to make sure that I can walk. I have to walk somehow. How am I going to do this? I have to make sure that I can walk. So what I did was I grabbed, one of those, those rolling tables they give you in the hospital. I grabbed that and I used that as a crutch to walk back to the toilet. I used that as a crutch and walked, right? Walked in and out of the toilet with the thing. And they said, yeah, it's okay, we can send you home now. I said, okay, cool, I'm going to need a walker. So these people were about to send me home with no walker. If I hadn't suggested I need a walker, I wouldn't have got the crutches that I've got now. I got crutches, look. I got crutches. But it was my idea. Because the thing is that they wanted to send me home confident that I could walk, but they neglected the fact that I was leaning on something, right? I was leaning on something before I could walk. So I said, can I have a walker? And they said, no, we don't provide walkers. There was another nurse, thank God for her, another nurse, right? By the way, this was the same doctor who said, can you stay, or we need to do a formal report, that type of stuff. So there was another lady in a grey uniform who said, we don't have a walker, but we can give you crutches. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's perfect, that's fine. So I got the crutches, and because of the crutches, I was actually able to walk home. So yeah, my idea. Got the crutches. So as a patient, I'm the one who kind of, and it's weird because the whole time I was being told, you got to stay moving in order to control your sciatica, but here what, right? On Sunday, I went out to the beach in spite of my bad back. And the pebbles, sitting on the pebbles actually helped my back. So I went to the beach with my bad back, went on the bus all the way home with my bad back. So I was already being active. It was only on Monday when I was standing for too long that my whole body was brought down under the weight of the pain. Because remember, I'm not just suffering sciatica, I'm also being tortured as well. So I already sort of was already walking. I was already doing everything that I was supposed to be doing. The only reason why I even called the ambulance in the first place is because it didn't matter how hard I was walking or how much I was doing. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It didn't matter how much I was walking or how much I was doing. I was still in massive amount of pain anyway, and it still wasn't helping. That's the only reason I even called the ambulance. It's because I was getting up and I was walking, and the more I did it, the more was brought to my knees with the pain. And that's why I wasn't doing it. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the only reason I even called the ambulance in the first place, is because I felt like I couldn't do what I would ordinarily be doing, which is walking up and down anyway. Because I've walked up and down with a bad back. It's not a problem to me. But this was more than sciatica. It was torture. Because I only got all that shit standing up after I did the fucking lives. That's the only time when it actually happened. It was only after I did the lives that suddenly I couldn't stand up anymore. It's too fucking timely, man. The same thing happened with the toothache. Toothache. I'm in fucking agony for 3 days. And then the second I have to move out from the fucking hostel, suddenly it's just miraculously turned down. What kind of shit is this? What kind of shit is this? Same thing happened at the hostel. At the hostel, when I was on my period, I had the most raging bad moods imaginable. Premenstrual syndrome, right? I had the most raging premenstrual syndrome on the planet, and yet as soon as I start bleeding, suddenly it stops. What the fuck do they do that at? That's the fucking torture. That's the torture. And they did it because they thought it was going to humble me. They were fucking wrong. Because you know what? Now it shows on the hospital cameras that I was crawling around. Now it shows on the hospital cameras that I didn't have a gown, wasn't given a gown, wasn't provided with privacy. All of that is documented. All of that is fucking documented. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I don't have to humble me. You must be crazy. You must be crazy. And I showed, right? Because I was so angry, it's like I didn't care about my pride at the time. I didn't care about any of that at the time. But I just showed these motherfuckers, it doesn't matter how much pain I'm in. If I'm fucking done with something, I'm fucking done. Courage. Stubbornness, yeah, but courage. Showed I was fucking done with this shit. And, humble me where? Sure. Most people think that people who fired the electronic weapons, they think they're smart. They're not smart. They never have been smart, never will be smart. I even outwitted the fucking doctors. Because they weren't thinking of this. I was thinking of this. About humility, man. These people need to learn what humility is before they start fucking torturing people and thinking that people are going to shut up because of it. And now how much am I going to shut up about it? There's evidence all over the place that I was being treated with negligence even as I was screaming in agony. There's evidence. I ain't got to keep quiet about shit. Anyway, I'm still in pain, but the pain is not as bad, and I suspect that part of the reason is because I'm drying up. I don't mean menopause, but my period is coming to a close. So of course, some of the pain is being lifted off me. And then on top of that, the torture is ebbing away predictably as well. Although, I have to say something, right? Normally on the side of the sciatica, which was supposed to be my left side, normally on the side of the sciatica is where your leg goes numb. But what happened, right, is when I woke up this morning, even though the sciatica is supposed to be on my left side, it somehow miraculously switched to my right side and made my right leg numb. Can somebody make sense of that? How does pain suddenly move from one area to another? I never injured my right side. I never injured my right side. I injured my left side. Make it make sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? And now they're trying to, I know they're trying to ebb it away to try and make it look like I was seeking attention. They do this shit all the time. They do this shit all the time. They cause you massive amounts of pain. And then when they scan you, they try to say, oh, you know, when you get scanned, there's all this, you know, there's this downplaying of how serious it is. That's why I never could talk to no doctors. That's why I don't deal with medical staff. They fucking lie too much. How are you going to tell me in one, you know, how are two of your doctors going to tell me that I got a pinched nerve and then the other one said, oh no, it's not a problem. You haven't got a ruptured disc. It's just a musculoskeletal problem. What the fuck does that mean? That means I'm being attacked in my muscles and skeleton. Fuck around with me, man. You must think I'm a fucking idiot. Basically confessing that no, you're being tortured right now. Might as well come out and say it. I might as well have come out and said it. But instinctively, I think I knew where I was gonna go. Literally, if mental health, if my neighbours had called mental health on me, they would have come down like that. Even my landlady, when I was screaming in agony, she threatened to call the police on me. I'm thinking, you're threatening to call the police and emergency services on me for screaming in pain. Do you understand what I'm saying? For screaming in pain while I'm going through this. You couldn't make this shit up. I said, you know what? By all means, call them. They might actually pull their fucking finger out. I called medical staff 3 times already by the time that threat came up. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. It might actually make them pull their fucking finger out. And then you want to come into my room and say, oh, you know, they're busy right now. Well, if they're busy right now, why threaten to call the police? Shit. Why are you condescending to me when I'm in fucking pain? Get the fuck out of here with that. But of course I didn't say anything because, you know, again, I'm one of those people where, you know, I used to battle with everything and everyone, and now I just have to learn to just pick my battles. So if somebody in front of me is being deliberately condescending while I'm in fucking agony and shit, right now I'm thinking about solving the problem. I'm thinking about, how do I manage the pain? How do I solve this problem? How do we be professional about it? And as for these neighbours, man, I swear to God, I swear I heard one of them say, oh, she doesn't need to shout. Are you fucking kidding me? How would you feel if you were being tortured, you had hormonal problems, and you had sciatica, and you had a pinched nerve, all at the same fucking time? I don't need to shout. Are you fucking serious? And let me get on to another thing that bothered me about yesterday, right? These windows have got double glazing. That door, I think that door's quite thick, right? The thing is, when they were knocking and saying, hey, is anyone there? I was literally yelling at the top of my lungs. My thing is this: how the fuck am I able to hear you and you can't hear me? We're both using the same fucking window, so how can you not hear? And my hearing's terrible. I literally have to ask somebody to repeat something 2 or 3 times before I get what they're actually saying to me. That's how bad my hearing is. And yet when you're screaming from outside, I can hear you. When you're knocking on the window, I can hear you. When you're knocking on the door, I can hear you. And you're not even that loud. So how is it that when I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, I can't open the fucking door, you can't hear me? How is that possible? These people think they're fucking smart, man. I'm surrounded by idiots. I am surrounded by idiots. And no, it's got nothing to do with Brighton or nothing like that. I was surrounded by idiots in London. I'm just surrounded by fucking idiots, man. I'm surrounded by people who don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's why I don't ask nobody for nothing. That's why I don't ask about it. They're too damn full. And too fucking stupid. Anyway, I should be ashamed of myself because I came on here and talked about everything online before I even thought of talking to my brother or anybody and my loved ones. I've got to talk to them, so I've got to make the rounds. I love you guys. Take care. Peace and blessings to all TIs. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I love you so much. Stay strong. Stay blessed. You know we got this. I love you guys. Take care. Bye.